Why, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to Red Mage Blue Mage MTG ASMR. We're trying to get our first successful draft in Dominaria United. It's a wild format. I've enjoyed playing it. I've enjoyed listening to podcasts about it. And I'm hoping to use some of what I've learned to pull out a win. The deck I've drafted has its pros and its cons. Let's start with the cons, I guess. Con number one, it is a blue deck. Now, that might sound weird to you because blue is a great color in this format. I've been base blue or heavy blue every single draft I've done so far, and I've yet to turn in a winning record. But here we are again with base blue. We've got Defiler of Dreams, one of the best rares in the set. 5 mana, 4/3 flyer. Gives your blue permanents a Phyrexian mana as a replacement for a blue pip. And whenever you cast a blue permanent, you draw a card. Very good. Tolarian Terror, the 7 mana cost reduction of that cycle. It's a 5/5 for 7 with Ward 2, but it costs 1 less for each spell in your graveyard. Tolarian Geyser, you know I love it. I've drafted as many of these copies as I could get. I have 1 in this deck, though. 2 in a blue, bounce a creature, draw a card. We do not have white mana to kick it this time, but that's fine. Still a great card. We have black as our other main color, which I have not dipped into so far. So we have 2 copies of Phyrexian Rager. This is a classic. 2 in a black for a 2/2. It ETBs, you draw a card and lose a life. Just a fantastic card overall. We have the uncommon legendary Vohar Vodalian Desecrator. Blue-black for a 1/2 that taps to loot. And if you loot away a spell, you drain your opponent for 1. You can also pay 2 and sacrifice it to get yourself another crack at an instant or sorcery from your graveyard, which is quite good. So I would consider those to be pros. Another pro is one of the best rares in the set, Solkanar the Tainted. So this is a Grixis card, the only red card in our deck. 2 blue, black, red for a 5/5. And not as it comes into play, but at the beginning of your end step, you get to choose one of these modes that you haven't already chosen. Draw a card, drain someone for 2, deal 3 to something, or you exile it and it goes to your opponent. So this is a very strong card, and most of the time when you cast this, it gives you such overwhelming advantage you don't even have to worry about giving it to your opponent. But I did mess around with the deck list, and I have 3 copies of Bone Splinters. This is 1 black for a sorcery. You sack a creature to destroy a creature. So that's obviously a really nice combo. If we have Solkanar out in play and it's about to go to our opponent, we can just throw it at one of our opponent's creatures. The biggest con of this deck, from what I have heard from other people, is that it's not the most synergistic deck, and this is a synergy format, from what I understand. And once again, we're kind of just in a good cards deck. It's not the best. A pro, the last one I'll say before we get into it, I said last time that our curve was not low enough, and this time we have a very low curve, really focusing on 1, 2, and 3 pretty evenly, with only a handful of cards that cost more. And 2 of those, Tolarian Terror and Writhing Necromass, are cost reduction spells. So let's see how we do with this one. And just like that, here we go. We have 4 lands. The Island Swamp, dual land, 3 swamps, Pixie Illusionist, Bone Splinters, and Defiler of Dreams. I mean, Defiler is quite a good card, but the rest of this hand is really junky. We can cast a 1/1 flyer that does very little for us. Can Bone Splinters it away, potentially. And then we're hoping to Defile. This is a sketchy hand. This is a hand that's begging to draw way too many lands as we play on. I think our curve is low enough, and we're going second. We're going to mulligan. Yeah, I think this hand is better. So 3 lands this time. Swamp, Swamp, Mountain. We've got Bone Splinters, Battlefly Swarm, which is a 1/1 that can get Death Touch, a Soaring Drake, and a Tolarian Terror. Yeah, I think we keep this, and we ditch a Bone Splinters. Because Battlefly Swarm will do a good job of keeping them off our back. We drew Impede Momentum. 2 mana sorcery. Tap a creature, put 3 stun counters on it, scry 1. Not sad about that. I'm curious how good this card is. Marshall and LSV debated about this. LSV said this is not that good, and Marshall's like, doesn't this just basically kill a creature? 3 turns is an absolute eternity, and I agree. Okay, so they played Crystal Grotto and did nothing else, so I guess we can go to attack. Alright, 20 to 19, and we can end the turn. A little unfortunate. We have 4 mountains in our deck. We've drawn 2 of them already. We only need the 1. We also have Pixie Illusionist and Coalition Relic. Or Rusted Relic, whatever it's called. Wish it was Coalition Relic. Okay, opponent is going Voda Sea Scavenger. Great filler card. We're very familiar with that. This is the 3-2 that lets them basically look at their top 2 or 3 and put 1 on top. Okay, drew an island. I like that. I think we're going to go ahead and attack them for 1. It's 20 to 18, and then we'll cast Soaring Drake. Just to use up our mana as best we can. 2/3 flyer. Nothing fancy. Okay, they're attacking us with their Sea Scavenger. We will take it. Let's see what they can do on 4 mana. Tide Pool Turtle. I think that's a bad card. I think that's quite a bad card. 2/5 though. I mean, it represents a fair amount of damage. So let's go ahead and impede momentum on the turtle. Do we want to draw a Vohar? I think so. Let's go ahead and attack with our Soaring Drake. 17 to 16. And now we have a black mana to Death Touch their Voda Sea Scavenger if they want to come at us. But they are just going to flow Stone Infusion it. I mean, it's a 1-for-1 anyway. Okay, so they hit us for 3 with Voda Sea Scavenger. And then they play Knight of Dawn's Light. That's a pretty good turn. Knight of Dawn's Light is the 2/2 first striker. And you can pay 1 and a white to pump it. Although so far they're mostly just blue-red. Okay, so now we get to play Vohar. We're no longer the beatdown. So I think we just pass to them. This stops them from attacking us with their Voda Sea Scavenger, I think. They're just going for it. Alright, we will trade. Okay. They used Twinferno to, again, trade 1-for-1 for one of our creatures. Solkanar the Tainted. Well, you don't say. We just do that, right? Yeah. Now we can go to attacks, no attacks. In the turn, we choose a mode. We're going to do 3 damage to their Knight of Dawn's Light. And end the turn. So it's nice to have Vohar, which is our 2-mana looter, because this helps us hopefully find a Bone Splinters before we lose Solkanar. But in the meantime, they've got a big problem. Let's let them go to attackers. Okay, so they're passing to us. Let's go ahead and loot. We drew Extinguish the Light. So do we want to discard Extinguish the Light, which can get rid of our Solkanar if we need to, or Artillerian Terror? Unfortunately, it's got to be Extinguish the Light we're discarding. Okay, we'll keep a land in hand. We'll go to attacks. And we'll attack with Solkanar. They take it. It's 13 to 10. Let's cast our Artillerian Terror. So they cast Airtight Scorn, so they counter that. Fine. And I guess we just end the turn. So now we can draw a card or drain them for 2. I guess we draw a card. A Volsh Tide Turner. It's probably a decent thing to discard. But we also have a land to discard. So to see what happens. They're Runic Shotting our Solkanar. Well, let's go ahead and respond by looting. And we got a Battlefly Storm. We'll discard a land. Alright, they hit us down to 8. And we go, drew a land. We're going to go ahead and loot on our turn to see if we can't find any better action. Drew another land. Not happy about that. Let's discard a swamp. Or no, yeah, discard a swamp. Cast Battlefly Swarm. Cast Volsh Tide Turner. At worst, these are bad blockers. Battlefly Swarm's nice. Can happily block the Tide Pool Turtle. It's going to be a sad game to lose. Solkanar was a 3-for-1 for us. It killed a creature when it came to play, drew us a card, and then they used a removal spell on it. And somehow they still have 3 more cards than us. I mean, based on what? They haven't cast a single draw spell. Impulse is a 1-for-1. Okay, they're not attacking. We like that. Phyrexian Espionage. That's a great card to draw right now. Do we kick it? Yeah. Let's go ahead and play Phyrexian Espionage. Kick it. So this draws us 2 cards and they discard a card. They have another Airtie's Scorn. They're just beating us with cancels right now. Alright, we'll go ahead and loot. Tolarian Geyser is great, so we can discard our land this time. And just pass to them again. They flash in Vidalian Hexcatcher. I hope we win. This is a 2-mana 1/1 that gives other merfolk +1/+1. So this is giving their Voda Sea Scavenger +1/+1, and they can sack it to counter a non-creature unless we pay 1. We have to, like, that's such a bad card. We gotta win. The issue is we've cast 2 of our big final threats, Solkanar and Tolarian Terror. Still 8-10. They go Wrath, Weatherlight, Stalwart. That's bad. So when they cast an instant or sorcery, they can tap 2 untapped creatures to draw a card. It also has 3 white to give their creatures +1/+1 in Vigilance, but they're a white mana away from doing that. They have a very ambitious mana base. Alright, so now we have Bone Splinters and Tolarian Geyser. So I think we just... Do we just buy time with Tolarian Geyser? Cast Tolarian Geyser on the turtle. You're going to scry 1. Keeping a card on top. Don't like that. And a Phyrexian Rager. That's quite good. Let's go ahead and cast that. We go into 7. We drew another Phyrexian Espionage. That's pretty good. Now we could if we wanted to... No, we can't do anything else here. So now we can just pass. They play Founding the Third Path. So what are they going to recast from their graveyard? Twinferno, maybe? Yep, they are just skipping straight to Chapter 3 to recast something. They're casting Flowstone Infusion. So they're going to kill one of our creatures. I guess the Battlefly Swarm? It's the only creature we have worth anything. I guess they could do Vohar just to stop us from looting continually. Yeah, they're taking out the Battlefly Swarm. This does let them tap 2 things to draw a card, which they do. But now they're mostly tapped out. It doesn't matter that much. They're attacking us for 4. Do we just take it? I think maybe we do. Or do we block it with Volsh? Let's loot first. Another Bone Splinters. We definitely don't need 2 Bone Splinters. So we hit them back for 5. Bone Splinters, they're 4/4. And then we take 2 on their turn. But they also have this turtle they're going to cast. I guess we just need to block with our Volsh. There's the turtle. We drew a land. Let's go ahead and play Phyrexian Espionage, kick it. Draw some stuff so we get a Pixie Illusionist and a Bone Splinters. And I guess we can just... It's sorcery, so we just Bone Splinters the Voda Sea Scavenger. Just kill their 4-3. No, that was an oversight by me. They had their Voldalian Hexcatcher, which they could sacrifice to counter unless we pay 1, which we did not. So we still got something for us, but that's not that good. They're advantaged on board with their creatures. They have this turtle which scries for them every turn, and every time they cast an instant or sorcery, they get to tap creatures and draw a card. They're just swinging out right now. Guess we can go to blocks, double block Wrath. Let's go ahead and activate Vohar. Ooh, a land. Our 4th and final mountain. Hooray. Right, we go to 3, they're at 9. And their last card is a Shalai's Acolyte, which is a 3/4 flyer. We do not have a flyer. Do we have enough to cast? I guess we activate Vohar in case we can find something. We find another land, so that's game. Well, poopy. That felt pretty good overall. Like I said, the Solkanar getting essentially full value. We didn't get to drain our opponent for 2, but we cast it, killed a creature, got in an attack, drew a card, and then they had a removal spell for it. And we still somehow lost. You see what I mean? Like, this format just seems brutal so far. I can't figure it out. Well, that is just game 1. Maybe game 2 won't be a grim nightmare. Find out after the break. Sometimes, winning a game isn't about dealing the most damage, or drawing the most cards, or making any measurable contribution towards victory. But hey, just because you don't have the stats doesn't mean you're not a f***ing gamer god, alright? Enter The Intangibles, a podcast on the Geekspective Network, where me, Kenny, and my brother Matt break down all the things that are hard to quantify in games. All kinds of games. We're talking classics like Sonic's the Hedgehogs, and chess, and 3D Pinball Space Cadet. Great game, by the way. We're talking new releases like...
Insert latest trending games on Twitch here.
Single player, co-op, competitive, card games, board games, role-playing games, play-by-mail games, the Wicks. We do deep dives into our favorite games, digging into the intangibles that make them great and the intangibles that will make you a better player, and hey, maybe even a better person. Check out the intangibles on whatever the heck platform you're listening to right now. Can't catch a break, man. We have lots of late game. We lose to the early stuff. We have lots of early game with a little late game. We lose to this piddly little stuff. Our opponent's going first. We have a mana of each color. Grixis. Amazing. We've got our 2 amazing rares, Defiler of Dreams and Solkanar. And we have Tolarian Terror. Our first play is an Eerie Soul Tender. Given that we're drawing first, I guess this is okay. We drew Writhing Necromass, so now our average mana cost is like 5. Ugh. Opponent is red-white, that's just amazing news. Let's go and play a mountain. So they're worried about a lightning strike. They play Mesa Cavalier, 2/1 flyer, gain 2. Fine card. We are going to go Eerie Soul Tender. Comes into play, we mill 3. We milled some lands, I don't hate that. And an Impede Momentum, so now our Tolarian Terror is a little cheaper. They cast another Mesa Cavalier. So it's 18 to 24. They're going to get some early hits in on us. But I don't really mind. Let's go and attack with our Soul Tender. It's 18 to 21. And now we can... Do we want to Espionage this turn? Yeah. I know this is giving up the discard value on them. But this makes it so that our next turn we have Solkanar or Defiler of Dreams. Oh, Jesus. They cast and kick Keldon Strike Team. So this is a 3/1 that makes 2 1/1s if you kicked it, and it gives those creatures haste. So it's now 9 to 21. This sucks. Well, now what do? We could Tolarian Terror, which puts a big damper on their plans. I guess we go Defiler of Dreams. I think this is our way back into things. Pass to them. So now we have a block on Mesa Cavaliers, and we have a block on their ground crew with Eerie Soul Tender. They could just easily murder us right now, because, oh, okay, they're not going to. I was going to say, they could have one of a million big combat tricks, because they're green, white, red. They're just attacking with their 3-1 Keldon Strike team. Well, we will block. Okay, so they just want to trade. Happily we will trade. Well, now things are getting juicy, because we have 6 mana. Our Solkanar could cost us as few as 4 mana. And so could our Tolarian Terror. So we could cast Solkanar and Vohar, but that would cost us a total of 4 life. That can't be worth it. Let's just cast Solkanar the Tainted. Go ahead and auto-pay. It's a blue permanent, so we draw a card. A Battlefly Swarm. That's even a good one. Let's cast that. No attacks. Now we want to do 3 damage to a creature. Let's kill a Mesa Cavalier. We have an Extinguish the Light in hand as a way to get rid of our Solkanar. They cast a Goblin Picker and a Sprouting Goblin as our last 2 cards. So they have a lot of power and toughness on the board, but it's all very small creatures. Okay, we drew a land. Let's go and play that land. Cast a Tolarian Terror. That's another blue permanent, so we draw another card. We can cast Vohar, the Desecrator. Another blue permanent, we draw another card. And now we can attack. I think we're just going to attack with our Defiler. So we got to start winning the game somehow. Okay. Now we can either drain them or draw a card. We've got plenty of cards in hand. Let's drain them. Just get our life total a little bit better. It's 11 to 15. They have a land in hand and 1 other card. So what I'm worried about is they have so much mana and they're green. Okay, they cast King Darien the 48th. Other creatures get +1/+1, and they can pay 5 to put a 1/1 counter on King Darien and make a 1/1. Jesus. They're attacking us with a 3/2. No blocks. So we're going to kill King Darien here in a second, I think. Let's see. Let's go ahead and loot with Vohar first things first. I'd love a Bone Splinters. I really would. Phyrexian Rager's good. Get rid of a land. Let's go ahead and cast a Phyrexian Rager to draw a card. It does cost us a life, but a Bone Splinters. Beautiful. Okay. Now we can happily Extinguish the Light on Darien. They're getting a lot of scry rummage value from their Goblin Picker and Sprouting Goblin. It's our turn now. It's our turn down here. Let's go and attack with our 4/3 again. 4/3 flyer. It's 10 to 11. And play our land. Draw a card off Solkanar. And now next turn we have 2 Bone Splinters. They cast Shauna Purifying Blade. Green, white, blue for a 3/3 lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay X. If you do draw X cards, X can't be greater than the amount of life you've gained this turn. And then they also play an Argivian Phalanx. Christ. Okay, well, we're about to lose Solkanar, so we can attack with it this turn quite happily. So probably we just start there. Attack with Defiler of Dreams and Solkanar. And just see what they do. Chumping Solkanar makes sense. They take 4. Okay, so now we can kill one of their things. So I think we Bone Splinters, Shauna the Purifying Blade, sacrificing Solkanar. And now we could exile Eerie Soul Tender to buy back Solkanar. Or we could just do 2 blue spells to draw 2, like just draw a bunch of cards. Cast Pixie Illusionist for blue. Draw a card off Defiler. Actually, cancel that. Let's cast Volsh. Draw a card. And now we can Eerie Soul Tender exile from our graveyard to get back Solkanar. And now what are they going to do? Now we end the turn. We have a Death Touch Battle Swarm, and we're about to recast Solkanar. Our army is bigger than theirs. They're just rummaging through their entire library as fast as they can. They're fully 5-color at this point. Pretty weird for a red-white aggro deck. Just a good indicator of where we are in this format. We just don't understand anything. Now they're alpha striking. We're at 8, so they could easily have a combat trick that's going to end the game right here. So let's go to blockers and just block as much as we can. Cleaving Skyrider kicked. If it's kicked, it deals X damage. Any target by X is the number of attacking creatures. They should have done that pre-blocks. So they kill our Defiler. Tons of trades happen. They're left with a 2/2 flyer and a 2/2 Goblin Picker. We still have our Tolarian Terror, our Desecrator, and our Tide Turner. It's 8-7. I mean, I guess that was an alright play by them, but they're just about to get their shit rocked by just everything we have. Just attack with our Terror to start things off. They just chump block, of course. Now we get to Solkanar. We're just going to kill their Goblin Picker. And let's go ahead and cast a Writhing Necromass. I guess we shouldn't, because what if they have a random Wrath? Let's just end the turn. We're already winning on board. Just kill their stupid Goblin Picker. This is all we have to do to win games. They surrendered. All we have to do is cast one of the best mythic rares in the set twice, and then one of the best rares in the set. Just cast 3 A+, and we can scrape out a victory. Jesus. A win's a win, I guess. But holy Pete. On we go. 1-1. Opponent goes first. Why not? Why not? I should really keep lifetime records of opponents going first versus me going first. Somebody out there, keep track of that for me. We've got, again, Grixis lands, then Tolarian Geyser, Eerie Soul Tender, Extinguished Light, and Writhing Necromass. I think it's good enough. We've got lands that will get us these late spells, and if we draw cheap stuff, we can play it. Like I said, almost our entire curve is 1, 2, and 3 drops, but we just can't draw the cheap spells. Blech. Opponent mulligan, so that's something. And then they played Clockwork Drawbridge. I mean, that's great. And we drew a 1-drop. Hey, it's all coming up Millhouse. So they played the 0-3 Defender that you can pay 3 to tap and tap target creature. Pretty bad. We have yet to go against the wall deck, so maybe we're about to be wowed. Coral Colony. Okay, so they are fully on the walls plan. Now we drew Bone Splinters. So the Coral Colony will start milling us 2 a turn. Do we just Bone Splinters it? Why not? If we're lucky, that's like their only win condition. They play Mesa Cavalier. It's fine. We're going to respond by playing Airtie Soul Tender. Mills us for 3. Oh. I put 3 creatures in the graveyard, which sounds, I mean, and they're great creatures. Vohar +2 for X-Rangers. Kind of sad we can't cast those. But that did make our 5/5 Death Touch Writhing Necromass cost only 3. So that's not too bad. I guess Volsh Tide Turner. Again, this is one of those decks that I really want to beat because this is not good what they're doing. They have 1 blue mana available. So it's Writhing Necromass time. Yeah. Do we attack with our Eerie Soul Tender and offer the trade? Yeah, I guess so. They are happily trading with their Volsh Tide Turner, makes sense, but eventually our Eerie Soul Tender is going to buy us back, at worst, a Phyrexian Rager. So I'm not really upset about that. Okay, they're attacking us for 2 in the air again with Mesa Cavalier. And I would guess they're going to tap down our Writhing Necromass. Let's just go ahead and go to combat and see what they do. I'm going to have to assume. No, they're not. Well, okay. Then you can eat some damage. So it's 16 to 17. They're holding up 3 mana and didn't tap our 5/5. Which means they have either Airtie's Scorn or an Essence Scatter in hand. So what do we do here? I want a Phyrexian Espionage, but we really get ranched if we go for that. Do we just pass? Let's just pass. Make them do something. They go for Destroy Evil now. So they clearly have a counterspell or something in hand. Alright, we just passed to them. We haven't extinguished the light. Let's put a stop at the end of their turn. If they play some juicy creature, we can extinguish it. If they don't, we can Eerie Soul Tender and just buy back our Writhing Necromass. Go to damage. Okay, they're still hitting us with their Pegasus. Okay, so they don't do anything, so now we can Eerie Soul Tender, just buy back our 5/5. We got Defiler of Dreams. I mean, presumably they still have an Essence Scatter or the Airtie's Scorn. So what do we do? We could go for Writhing Necromass. They know we have it, so let's just go for that. Airtie's Scorn. Yeah, alright. Well, we knew that they had that, didn't we? They've got to be running low on juice in hand, so we have Defiler of Dreams, Phyrexian Espionage. They cast Griffin Protector. Okay, perfect. We've got the green light, folks. And cast this Defiler. And now they really need to get something good. They're tapping, on their turn, tapping our Defiler of Dreams so they can get in for 4. It's 8 to 17. They're in a bad way. Because now we can... God, we can do all... They're 1 card in hand for blue. So we can just Phyrexian Espionage them. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get that last card out of their hand. Kick Phyrexian Espionage, draw 2 cards. They discard another Clockwork Bridge. Now, could just pass to them. Let's go ahead and cast our Volsh Tide Turner, just so we can draw a card. Rage Battle Blessing. I love that. No attacks. Because they're on 5 mana still, so we want them to waste their turn on Clockwork Bridge, if at all possible. They cast Shield Wall Sentinel, so another 1/3. And they get to search for a Defender card. So they got another Coral Colony. Now they're attacking with their 3/4 Griffin Protector. We could block with our Defiler. No. We're at 5 and they're at 17. I mean, that's, pretty low life total, but now we can, for example, Geyser their Griffin Protector. Draw a card. We have Battle Rage Blessing and Extinguish the Light. It's not that good. Just pass to them, I guess. Again, I'm astonished at how we have fewer cards than them. We've cast a Phyrexian Espionage, a Tolarian Geyser, and we've drawn off Defiler of Dreams. What have they've gotten a wall off of Shield Wall Sentinel. How do they have so many cards still? Okay, so they're just recasting Griffin Protector. Our turn. Drew a land. For Pete's sake. 5 to 17. we can't really afford to attack, because they'll just take it and go to 13 and then hit us for at least 4. They'll hit us for 5 and kill us. So we have to, this turn, unfortunately, extinguish the light on their drawbridge, so they can't keep tapping it down, and then pass to them. Yeah, I mean, it's an issue. They have 23 cards in library, we have 16. They're about to cast their Coral Colony and start milling us down. On the plus side, we have... Yep, there's the Coral Colony. We have blue permanents we could draw that would draw us more cards. We have 3 copies of Bone Splinters that we could use to take down the Coral Colony. But another issue is that they played that creature, and now they have a 3/4 Griffin Protector, which I'm sure they're just going to bash in with. Yes, that is what they're going to do. We basically have to take it this turn. We're at 5, they're at 17. Another land. Please. Please. This is why our opponent has more cards than us in play right now. They have drawn 5 lands, and we've drawn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I guess we passed the turn. They did not Coral Colony us. Oh, they just cast it, didn't they? Okay. I'll allow it. Okay, they cast another Clockwork Drawbridge. Alright, they're going to come at us with their Griffin Protector. Presumably. They play a Volsh Tide Turner, whatever. Now they're like, oh yeah, now my Griffin Protector can't die in combat. The joke's on you. We have Battle Rage Blessing. Indestructible, Death Touch. Goodbye, Griffin Protector. We drew Bone Splinters. Ugh, God. It's good, but it's so late now. Because now they can Clockwork Drawbridge our Defiler and just get us out over the course of a few turns. So I guess we need to Bone Splinters their Drawbridge, sacking our Volsh Tide Turner. They're milling us for 3, excuse me. Down to 11 cards. No attacks for us. Yeah, the mill's gonna get us. Tolarian Terror. Finally, a card worth anything. So 1 mana 5/5 Ward 2, draw a card. They're milling us some more. We're down to 7 cards in hand. We drew another land. It's unreal, man. Do we need to attack? We would kill them in 5 attacks. They'll kill us with 3 with their Mesa Cavalier. Yeah, let's attack with the Defiler. It's 5 to 13. They cast another Shield Wall Sentry. I do think we're going to lose to this wall deck, but I don't know if we're losing because it's a wall deck. Let's take a look at this. Granted, we've milled a bunch of cards here, but as I said, we have how many lands in play in our hand? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 of our 17 lands are in play. I guess we've drawn most of our deck. I don't know. Let's go to attacks. Okay, they're just not going for it now. We're at 6 cards in hand. 5 life. We could attack with our 5/5. No matter what we want to do, we want to start by casting Pixie Illusionist for 1. Because that lets us draw another card. A land. We've been milled so much, we have 1 land in our graveyard. We're down to 5 cards in our library. Our graveyard has 17 cards in it and 1 land. It's just not fair, is it? We're at 5. They could attack us for a grand total of 3 on their turn. So it's Alpha Strike time, baby. Alright, they're chumping. We haven't drawn Sokonar, have we? We have not milled it either. Yep, there he goes. Got 1 card left in our library, so we have to win next turn. Never mind. We can't win. So they did that at the end of our turn. Alright, GG. Again, I don't think we lost to that deck because it was a Walls deck. They milled us so many times. They milled our entire library away and only hit one land the entire time. I think we were well poised to win that game. Oh boy. Oh boy. The rage, it courses through me. Do we keep playing? Yeah, of course we do. Of course. Why wouldn't we? Okay, fighting not only for our lives in this run, but also to not actually do worse than we've done so far. Trying to not go 1-3. We go first, so that's something. This hand is so close to being great. It's Impede Momentum, Vohar, this is our 2-mana looter, Phyrexian Rager, Tolarian Geyser. Wow. No black mana. We gotta keep. We need a little help from God, and I think he owes it after some of the stuff that we've seen. So, okay. Opponent goes Island, and so did we. Drew a Soaring Drake, which is another playable. I'm not going to complain too much about that. Opponent goes Swamp. We drew a 2-drop. I mean, why not? Haunting Figment. Why not draw a 2-drop now? It's the perfect time. Cast our Soaring Drake. They have Essence Scatter. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Maybe we should have gone for our Haunting Figment there. Still have not drawn another land. Okay, they played Tainted Apparition. It's a 4-mana flyer, 2/2. Pay 2 to give it +1/+1. We drew not another land, instead another black card, Battlefly Swarm. So we still don't have anything good to do. I guess we Tolarian Geyser. They're 4-drop. Draw a card, Solkanar the Tainted. It's a good card. We're not even close to casting it. If we draw 1 swamp, things just get so much better. Okay, opponent missed a land drop, but so have we. Twice now. Boy. I guess we attack them with our Haunting Figment. They take it, so it's 20-16. And now we can either impede momentum on their Tattered Apparition or Volsh Tide Turn. I guess we go for Volsh. Just get another creature on the board. Volsh Tide Turner. I'm playing the card and I hate it. Okay, opponent hits us for 2 in the air. Did not pump it, which makes me think they've got something. Indeed. They have Micromancer. 4-mana 3/3. ETBs, they get an instant or sorcerer that costs exactly 1. Which they're using to get a timely interference. Sure. Finally drew another land. It's another island, you'll be happy to note. Let's go ahead and impede momentum on their Micromancer. Do we want a Pixie Illusionist? Fuck no. Give us a swamp, for God's sakes. Alright, we attack, it's 18-13. 1 swamp. 1 swamp, we have Phyrexian Rager. We'll probably just rattle out the Solkanar the Tainted. Start killing their stuff. They cast their own Phyrexian Rager. Must be so nice. They hit us for 2 at 16-12. They're hitting their land drops. A Phyrexian Espionage. Sure. We will cast it. Unkicked, because we cannot kick it. Draw 2 cards. No swamp. 2 more black spells. No attacks. This is jokes, mate. So now, what are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 non-lands and 4 lands we've drawn. Huh. They cast Froststrider. Great card. I would love to have ever casted it. The only good thing I can say is that they're locking down our Volsh Tide Turner, which we have no good cards. Guess we're blocking the Phyrexian Rager. They're going to timely us. An island. Alright. Concede. Okay. Oh. It's time to retool. It's time to rethink. That was a 1-3 finish, my friends. This is a grim nightmare. I don't get the feeling as with Streets. Streets I did well and didn't love the format. In this format, I like what I see, but I'm not doing well. Lots of time to learn, I suppose. If you've had any success out there, let me know what you've been up to. What have you been drafting? What have you found success with? And if you'd like to take over this podcast and show me how it's really done, then maybe we can talk. Let's make a deal.